find it?
Mr. MacAfee, if you were in uniform, I'd have you under arrest and facing general court-martial charges. Unfortunately, you're...
In the late 1950s, producer Sam Katzman began plans for a new science fiction picture. He turned to director Fred F. Sears, known for his work on B-movies, to lead the project. With a limited budget and tight schedule, the duo started the challenging task of casting for this unique film, soon to be known as The Giant Claw. For the leading lady, they chose Corday, an up-and-coming actress who had already made her mark in various films, including Playgirl After Dark and The Black Scorpion. Her beauty, charm, and acting skills proved perfect for playing opposite the male protagonist. Jeff Morrow, an experienced stage and screen performer, signed on to play the hero, MIT mathematician Mitchell MacAfee. His strong presence and authoritative voice were ideal for conveying both intelligence and bravery demanded by the character. Ankrum joined them as General Considine, leader of the military forces trying to bring down the terrifying bird. This veteran actor brought credibility to the production, having appeared in numerous sci-fi flicks like Invaders from Mars, Earth vs. the Flying Saucers, and Rocket Ship XM. Edgar took on the part of French scientist Pierre Broussard, while Merrill played Pedro, a Mexican officer working alongside General Considine. Both actors contributed significantly through their supporting roles. Casting the titular monster proved quite a challenge due to technical constraints of the time. Eventually, they settled upon animatronics coupled with rear projection techniques, rather than opting for a man-in-suit approach. Although it received mixed reviews then, the decision certainly added another layer of intrigue to this classic.
And all this, General, but stick with me. Now, the basic atom is extremely small.
The Giant Claw, released in 1957, was a classic science fiction film directed by Fred F. Sears. Known for his efficient and straightforward approach, Sears brought the outlandish story to life with his unique style. Sears was heavily influenced by the B-movie culture of the time, favoring low-budget productions that delivered high entertainment value. This influence is evident in The Giant Claw, where the focus is on the thrilling narrative and the titular monster, rather than elaborate sets or special effects. Collaboration was key to Sears' directorial vision. He worked closely with his cast and crew, fostering a positive and productive environment. For instance, he and special effects supervisor Ray Mercer devised innovative ways to create the monstrous bird, despite budget constraints. Sears' directing style was characterized by his ability to work quickly and decisively. He believed in capturing the essence of a scene in the first take, which kept the filming process dynamic and engaging for the cast and crew. The Giant Claw's unique blend of humor, suspense, and visual effects is a testament to Sears' creative vision. His collaborative approach and efficient filmmaking style ensured that the film, while low budget, left a lasting impression on audiences.
We've installed the ejector nozzle in the...
The Giant Claw is a 1957 movie that combines science fiction and horror, telling the story of a giant bird-like creature that threatens to destroy the world. While the movie's special effects may seem outdated by today's standards, there are many funny, shocking, and sad facts about its production that make it worth watching. One scene that has had a lasting impact is when the creature first appears on screen. The design of the monster is so absurdly cheesy that it's hard not to laugh, yet the film takes itself so seriously that it becomes unintentionally hilarious. As for the cast, classic Hollywood actor Jeff Morrow plays the lead role of Mitchell. His performance is one of the few bright spots in an otherwise forgettable film. Do you have a cherished memory or a personal experience related to the Giant Claw? We would love to hear your stories and memories in the comments below. Throughout the movie, there are many interesting tidbits to keep an eye out for, such as the use of stock footage and the strange decision to have the creature's attacks occur off-screen. Despite its flaws, The Giant Claw remains a cult classic that continues to entertain audiences today.
A few scattered planes. And what? A meteorite? Impossible.
In the late 1950s, the team behind The Giant Claw faced various challenges and devised unique solutions during its production. The set designers had to create an environment that could convincingly portray both modern American cities and desolate landscapes for the giant bird creature to wreak havoc upon. They built miniature models of urban areas, enhancing them with visual tricks like forced perspective and foreground matte paintings. These methods made the cityscapes appear larger than they were, providing the illusion of a massive monster attacking on screen. One notable location was a rocky quarry transformed into the New Mexico desert, where much of the action took place. The crew constructed several life-size props, including military vehicles and planes, which added authenticity when integrated with the special effects footage. However, transporting these heavy items presented logistical difficulties, requiring careful planning and coordination between different departments. As for technological innovations, the Giant Claw utilized early forms of chroma key compositing, better known today as green screen technology. This allowed actors to perform alongside pre-made background images or animations, giving the impression of interacting with the titular beast. Despite some limitations compared to contemporary implementations, it proved effective in bringing the fantastical concept to life. However, integrating live-action elements with the stop-motion animation used for the giant claw creature often resulted in less than convincing imagery by modern standards. A common issue involved matching the lighting conditions between film sequences and animated ones. To mitigate this problem, the cinematographers paid meticulous attention to light sources and shadows during principal photography, aiming to maintain consistency across all scenes featuring the menacing bird.
His Buskirk got waiting for you.
An old, stripped-down B-25.
Good maneuverability instead of speed.
Yeah, the whole
Let's dive into the classic film The Giant Claw from 1957. This sci-fi horror movie centers around an enormous bird-like creature that threatens humanity. The monster, known as the Giant Claw, has a menacing appearance with sharp talons and feathers that seem almost invulnerable to human weapons. The film features a talented cast including Jeff Morrow as Mitchell, the lead scientist trying to save the day, and Mara Corday as Sally, his love interest. Their chemistry on screen adds depth to their relationship amidst the chaos caused by the monstrous beast. Directed by Fred F. Sears, The Giant Claw combines both practical effects and animation techniques to bring the titular creature to life. While some may find the visual style dated compared to modern standards, it still holds up surprisingly well considering its age. Despite being made over 6 decades ago, certain themes remain relevant today. For instance, the fear of unknown forces threatening our existence continues to resonate with contemporary audiences. Additionally, the importance of scientific discovery and collaboration plays a significant role throughout the narrative. Overall, if you're looking for a nostalgic trip down memory lane or simply interested in exploring vintage cinema, give The Giant Claw a watch.
Formation of a temporary masic atom, the mu meson with a hydrogen nucleus.
Right.
In the creation of The Giant Claw, its musical score played a significant role in enhancing the overall viewing experience. Composed by Misha Bakalainikov, the music was carefully crafted to match the narrative and emotional tone of the movie. Bakalainikov had a long career in Hollywood, working on over 400 films, including other science fiction classics like The Amazing Colossal Man. The composer skillfully used different musical themes to represent various elements of the story. For instance, he employed ominous tones when depicting the giant bird, creating a sense of fear and suspense. These musical cues helped build up tension during crucial scenes, making them more engaging for audiences. Collaboration between Bakalainikov and the sound department was also key. They worked together closely to ensure that the sound effects blended seamlessly with the score. This harmony resulted in a rich auditory environment that heightened the impact of both components. Moreover, the inclusion of a love song titled How Do You Do added another layer to the film's audio landscape. Sung by Jeff Donnell, who plays Sally Caldwell in the movie, it provided contrast against the backdrop of chaos caused by the monstrous bird. Interestingly, Bakalainikov wasn't limited to just one genre. His work ranged from westerns to dramas, romances, and sci-fi flicks. This versatility allowed him to bring unique perspectives to each project, contributing significantly to their success. Unfortunately, specific interviews or detailed accounts regarding the creation of the Giant Claw score remain scarce. However, considering Bakalaiниkov's body of work, we can infer that much thought and effort went into crafting every note heard in this classic.
They think they figured out what that bird is and where it came from.
In The Giant Claw, the flying monster's terrifying scream is actually a reused sound effect from an earlier film, Flash Gordon Conquers the Universe. This sound was originally used for victims falling off cliffs or into deadly pits. The producers had initially planned to use a stop-motion model created by Ray Harryhausen for the bird, but due to budget constraints, they opted for a marionette instead. An interesting fact about this classic is that it features a 2-star general, Major General Van Buskirk, and a 3-star general, Lieutenant General Considine, flying a B-25 into combat against the monster. This was the highest-ranking combat pilot co-pilot in films for almost 4 decades, until President Whitmore flew an FA-18 against the alien mothership in Independence Day. Despite several films featuring high-ranking officers in various roles, the LT General Major General Pilot co-pilot team in this movie still ranks as the highest-ranking combat aircrew team in film history. This is just one of the many unique aspects that make this movie a memorable classic.
Why be sorry? You can always...
One of the most iconic scenes in The Giant Claw occurs when the giant bird first appears on screen. As the camera pans across the sky, we catch glimpses of something massive and ominous looming in the distance. Suddenly, the creature comes into full view, its monstrous size and terrifying features causing audiences to gasp in shock. Director Fred F. Sears skillfully builds tension throughout this scene, utilizing low-angle shots to emphasize the beast's towering height. The performances of leading actors Jeff Morrow and Mara Corday add to the suspense, their wide eyes and frantic expressions conveying a sense of sheer terror. Cinematographer Fred Jackman Jr.'s use of stark contrast between light and shadow further highlights the menacing presence of the giant claw, creating an eerie atmosphere that leaves viewers on edge. This combination of strong directorial choices, powerful acting, and effective cinematography makes for a truly unforgettable moment in cinema history. But it's not just the visual elements that make this scene so iconic. The special effects team also deserves credit for bringing the titular monster to life. Although dated by today's standards, the crude puppetry and miniature sets were revolutionary at the time, and contributed significantly to the overall impact of the film. According to actor Jeff Morrow, working with the giant claw puppet was quite a challenge due to its unwieldy nature. However, he believes that these challenges ultimately added to the authenticity of his fearful reactions. He stated in an interview, "That thing was frightening, and I think our genuine fear shows through in those scenes." This iconic scene has had a lasting impact on audiences, inspiring countless parodies and homages over the years. Its influence can still be seen in modern films and television shows that feature large, intimidating creatures. Despite being over 6 decades old, the giant claw's legacy continues to resonate with new generations of fans.
Here is part of the wreckage. Examination by a staff of scientists.
In the 1950s, both Dabbs Greer and Morris Ankrum left lasting impressions in the world of cinema. Greer, who started his film career as an extra in the 1938 movie Jesse James, recounted earning $5 a day in Pennville, which was considerable income during those times. Meanwhile, Ankrum shared screen time with Kirk Douglas in Along the Great Divide and with Clint Walker in The Travelers. In his extensive acting career, Dabbs Greer appeared in 2 films featuring dangerous prisoners taking control of their environments. These movies included Riot and Cell Block 11 with Robert Osterloh and Con Air starring Nicolas Cage. Additionally, Greer played a role in the cult sci-fi horror film The Giant Claw. Greer's co-star, Morris Ankrum, also built an impressive resume appearing alongside some of Hollywood's biggest stars. His versatility enabled him to portray various characters with ease, making him a valuable addition to any cast. Together, these actors contributed to many memorable film moments over the years, leaving a legacy that continues to resonate today.
If those balloons are still up, there's a bare possibility they photographed this thing, whatever it is.
Released in 1957, The Giant Claw tells the story of a monstrous bird threatening humanity. While the film may not have been a critical success, it still made an impression on its audience. Its campy special effects and over-the-top acting style led some viewers to embrace it as a cult classic. The movie tapped into the popular sci-fi genre of the time, reflecting Cold War-era anxieties around unseen threats. Audiences found entertainment in the outrageous concept of a giant bird attacking civilization. This imaginative premise also inspired other creative works, contributing to the broader pop culture landscape. Moreover, this classic touched upon certain societal concerns regarding scientific progress and military might. By presenting a seemingly invincible foe, the film hinted at humankind's vulnerability despite technological advancements. Such themes struck a chord with contemporary viewers navigating their own fears during a period marked by uncertainty. Despite being panned by critics initially, The Giant Claw has managed to carve out a niche for itself among avid fans of B-movies. Over the years, the film has aged into a charming piece of nostalgia, appreciated for its kitsch value rather than high artistry. In doing so, it demonstrates how even less successful productions can offer lasting appeal and influence various aspects of pop culture.
This is New York International Airport. Over.
Altitude 8,000. Airspeed 200.
Additionally, the movie is part of the German Schliffhaus series, which features some of the worst films ever made. It aired on the German TV station Tele5 in September 2021. This series includes hosts who present the film while providing humorous commentary throughout. Robert Shayne appears in the film and was a well-known character actor. He gained fame for his role as Inspector Henderson on the television series Adventures of Superman. He also starred in several science fiction films from the 1950s, including titles like Invaders from Mars, The Neanderthal Man, and Indestructible Man. In his later years, he made one of his final TV appearances in The Flash, where, at the age of 90, he played a blind news vendor despite being legally blind himself. The 1957 sci-fi horror flick, The Giant Claw, did not receive much love from critics when it first hit the silver screen. In fact, many reviewers panned its special effects and absurd plotline. The New York Times critic, Howard Thompson, described them as preposterous, while another noted that the bird monster looked like a giant turkey. Audiences seemed entertained by its campy charm, but agreed with professional critiques on the poor quality of visuals. Despite negative reviews, The Giant Claw has gained cult status over time among B-movie enthusiasts who appreciate its unintentional humor and kitsch appeal. This shift in perception underscores how public opinion can evolve over decades, turning initial ridicule into affectionate admiration. As far as awards go, The Giant Claw didn't receive any major ones during its release year. However, being remembered half a century later speaks volumes about its enduring impact. Its lasting legacy lies not necessarily in cinematic brilliance, but rather in its unique place within the annals of science fiction cinema history. Overlooked by mainstream recognition upon release, this classic now holds a cherished spot in the hearts of many moviegoers seeking something different from typical Hollywood fare.
Him and his like a Kanye, or whatever he thought he saw. Just goes to prove what they always say, truth.
In 1957, two significant films were released as a double bill by Columbia Pictures, The Giant Claw and The Night the World Exploded. The Giant Claw, a classic science fiction film, is particularly noteworthy for its use of sound effects. Some of the sounds heard in the movie are identical to those of the alien invaders' disintegration beam in Earth versus the Flying Saucers, which was also released in the same era. The film features Greer, an accomplished actor who has portrayed characters in various genres. Interestingly, Greer played roles that worked on Death Row in I Want to Live and The Green Mile, making him a familiar face to many moviegoers. The Giant Claw and The Night the World Exploded were both distributed by Columbia Pictures in 1957, providing audiences with a double dose of suspense and entertainment. Meanwhile, Greer's career spanned several decades, and he became known for his versatile performances in different roles.
Clear up those papers for me, will you please? Take these two. General Buskirk, MacAfee.
In the making of The Giant Claw, the cast and crew faced many challenges. The film's antagonist, a giant bird-like creature, was notoriously difficult to create. Special effects artist Bob Matty initially designed a massive puppet, but it proved too heavy to maneuver. In the end, they had to settle for a smaller model, which was then enlarged in post-production. The film's leading lady, Corday, had her fair share of challenges too. She was required to wear a tight-fitting outfit for her role, but the costume department failed to provide her with appropriate undergarments. As a result, she had to wear her own, which were visible through the thin fabric of her costume. This issue was never addressed, and the scenes made it to the final cut. Another interesting anecdote from the set of The Giant Claw involves the film's director, Fred F. Sears. Known for his strict and demanding nature, Sears was notorious for his quick temper. During filming, he would often yell at the cast and crew, causing tension on set. However, behind the scenes, Sears was quite different. He was a warm and friendly individual who would often socialize with the cast and crew during breaks. Despite the challenges faced during the production of The Giant Claw, the cast and crew remained dedicated to their work. They knew they were creating something special, and they were determined to see it through to the end. Today, The Giant Claw is remembered as a classic example of 1950s science fiction, with its unique blend of humor, horror, and special effects.
Blind spot areas that our radar can't pick up.
No, sir, I checked carefully. At least 10 different radar sites should have tracked it.
In the science fiction film industry, it's not uncommon for screenwriters to recycle character names across different projects. Such is the case with Samuel Newman, who repurposed the name Dr. Karol Noymann in his later work, Invisible Invaders, having previously used it in The Giant Claw. Interestingly, this role was initially portrayed by Edgar Barrier, known for playing the Saint, Simon Templar, on the radio in 1945. Moving forward to production details, eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed the inclusion of real war footage during the battle scenes against the colossal bird. Specifically, when fighter planes engage the creature, audiences see a clip of a B-25 Mitchell bomber launching its assault lieutenant. This particular scene originated from the film 30 Seconds Over Tokyo. On closer inspection, one can discern artwork attributed to Van Johnson's aircraft, christened the Ruptured Duck, prominently displayed on the fuselage's side.
I've been thinking about the bird, too.
Yeah, you and everybody else in the world.
The Giant Claw, a 1957 sci-fi movie, might not be as famous as other classics of its time. Yet, it holds a unique place in film history for its bold and campy approach to the genre. The movie's stop-motion creature, despite its obvious artificiality, left an indelible impression on audiences, influencing future filmmakers to experiment with special effects. This classic's low-budget charm and over-the-top acting style can be seen as a precursor to the B-movies that gained popularity in the following decades. The Giant Claw, in its own quirky way, contributed to the evolution of the sci-fi genre, pushing the boundaries of what was considered possible in filmmaking. The movie's influence extends beyond film. It has been referenced and parodied in various media, including television shows and comic books, solidifying its status as a cult classic. This enduring appeal is a testament to the film's unique charm and its ability to resonate with audiences, even decades after its release. In essence, The Giant Claw, with its unique blend of humor, horror, and science fiction, has left a lasting impact on the world of cinema. Its influence can be seen in the works of future filmmakers who dared to challenge conventions and push the boundaries of what was possible in filmmaking.
Oh, I remember. Now I read it somewhere. It's a superstition, a legend that the French...
In the making of The Giant Claw, some special effects were borrowed from the 1956 film Earth vs. the Flying Saucers. Interestingly, the cast was kept in the dark about the appearance of the title monster, which was constructed by a low-budget model maker in Mexico City. The star of the movie, Jeff Morrow, shared in an interview that the audience laughed at the monster during the film's premiere, causing him to leave the theater in embarrassment. The film also features Dabs Greer, who played the army chaplain that married Rob, and Laura Petrie in The Dick Van Dyke Show, and the minister that married Mike, and Carol Brady in The Brady Bunch. Greer's presence in The Giant Claw adds a layer of nostalgia for television fans. Overall, The Giant Claw is a classic film that has left an indelible mark in the world of science fiction, despite its unconventional monster design.
Oh, of course you don't know. The explosion was no accident.
In The Giant Claw, Mara Corday, a former showgirl at the Earl Carroll Theatre in Hollywood, plays a significant role. The film features Canadian Avro CF-100 interceptors with clear Canadian markings on the fuselage at the beginning of the movie. Interestingly, some of the panicked crowd footage is taken from the 1951 film The Day the Earth Stood Still. This classic film is known for its creative use of stock footage to enhance its storytelling. In the making of The Giant Claw, the marionette of the monstrous creature was created by a model maker in Mexico City at a minimal cost of $50 for producer Sam Katzman. Robert Shayne, who played a supporting role in the film, had previously been miscredited as Robert Shayne in the 1953 low-budget science fiction film The Neanderthal Man. Prior to his work in this classic, Shayne was a member of Orson Welles' Mercury Theater Group and appeared in many of Welles' radio productions, as did Edgar Barrier. Barrier's contributions to this film were significant, as he was also a part of the Mercury Theater Group and had appeared in numerous Welles productions.
Superstition, a legend that the French Canadians started and came across the border with.
Yeah, it vaguely rings a small bell with...
In the movie The Giant Claw, there is an interesting dynamic between two characters, the General, played by Morris Ankrum, and Mitch, portrayed by Jeff Morrow. Despite the fact that Ankrum was 60 years old during the film's release, and Morrow was only 50, the General refers to Mitch as boy. and son a few times throughout the movie. Another notable detail in the giant claw is the use of a Revell B-25 model in some in-flight shots. This is evident by the lower turret, a distinctive feature of this kit. The use of such a model adds a level of realism to the film, making the aerial scenes more engaging for the viewer.
Say that again. Good, good.
In the 1950s, the era of monster movies was in full swing. Among them, the giant claw stands out for its unique antagonist, a giant bird-like creature. However, what's less known is the tragic story behind its special effects. The man responsible for the creature's design, Ray Harryhausen, was a pioneer in stop-motion animation. Yet, his work on this film was credited to another artist due to a contractual obligation. This unfortunate event overshadowed Harryhausen's groundbreaking contribution, leaving his genius unacknowledged in this classic. Despite the film's B-movie status, it showcases an interesting blend of science fiction and horror with a healthy dose of humor. The creature's design, though often criticized for its campy appearance, remains a testament to the innovative spirit of the time. This is just one example of how this movie, often overlooked, has left its mark on cinematic history.
Push your gun, make a big noise like a gun you coming, we all die.
Get the head, Pierre. It's on.
Did you know that 1957's The Giant Claw is turning 65 this year? This classic monster movie has left a lasting impression on many, and we'd love to hear your stories. How old were you when you first saw this film? Did it spark your interest in sci-fi and horror movies? Maybe it was the first time you saw a movie that made you question reality. The Giant Claw might have even influenced your perspective on cinema. Did you find the special effects innovative for its time, or did they make you appreciate the advancements in technology? And let's not forget about the iconic bird-like monster. What were your thoughts when you first laid eyes on it? Did it leave you in awe, or did it make you laugh? We encourage you to share your memories and experiences related to this movie. Your stories could inspire others to explore classic films and appreciate their impact on modern cinema. So don't be shy. Share your thoughts, likes, and shares with us. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more cinematic explorations. Let's keep the conversation going and celebrate the timeless charm of the giant claw together.
It's like the nest, all right. No sign of any egg.
Well, it might be somewhere down in there.